Yo, what's going on guys? HyperX here. Welcome back to another video for Guilty Gear Strive. The game of course launches this week. I have been incredibly excited for this one. I have played all the betas, enjoyed this thoroughly. I used to play Guilty Gear games before, or other games by Arc System Works. I love my fighting games, right? We might not cover them hugely on the channel, and part of the reason for that, I'll be completely honest with you guys, is that I am probably at best an average fighting game player. I love my fighting games, I really enjoy them, I enjoy playing them with friends, but I'm also not incredibly good. So that being said, I want to try and get good with Guilty Gear Strive. I really wanted to sort of sit in here, invest some time, and really get some practice in, so hopefully you guys can enjoy this. But if you kind of came here hoping to sort of see some professional level gameplay, I'm afraid I can't quite offer that to you, but I am still working hard to try and sort of get better. I'm also you know, putting in the time with my arcade sticks, so there's a fair amount of learning they've got to do, but I have been thoroughly enjoying this. So if you guys have been you know, wanting to sort of see what it looks like in action, hopefully you've had a chance to check out some of the betas, but if you haven't, then of course it launched this week, and in this video I'm just going to let you guys watch some gameplay in the background, but I want to sort of give you some of my initial impressions, because I will say they've done a really good job this time around in trying to sort of help people get into the game, because fighting games in general can be quite daunting to get in. Like if you want to sort of play them on a slightly more casual point of view, you sort of jump in and, you know, if you're playing with friends casually, you might mash a few buttons, have some fun for a bit, but the second you go up against someone that knows what they're doing, that is not going to get you anywhere. Right? And Guilty Gear, or you know, fighting games in general, can be quite complex, but Guilty Gear has always had your core sort of fighting game fundamentals with a load of Guilty Gear systems layered on top, and previously it could be quite daunting to pick up. However, this game does have a really good tutorial dojo mode, which does a good job of sort of trying to take you through everything you need to know. Now, I'm still working my way through it. There's a lot of things that I want to sort of go through and replay, but the way they've structured this is, I would say both good and bad. I'll say it's good because I like the fact that you can kind of go through and they start with the very basics, just like general movement, you know, double jumps, dashing, moving around, telling you sort of how to dodge attacks, how to sort of read different things. Then they start to introduce you some of your sort of character-specific moves. They even then start touching on Guilty Gear-specific things like dust attacks or Roman cancels or other things like that that you'll need to learn. And it's structured in such a way that it gets progressively more complex as you go, so it can kind of sort of teach you all the systems, which is very useful, because often a lot of this stuff in fighting games just sort of goes, like, it's kind of assumed that you know this stuff, and if you don't, then you miss out on a lot. So yeah, you've got some tutorials to go through. I've been working through those ones, and I will say, you know, I mentioned at the beginning, I like the format to a degree. The only one thing that I had a sort of gripe with is in some fighting games, you'll often kind of go into sort of a character mode where it basically just runs you through loads of combos for your characters. This game still has that, but it's basically dispersed amidst all of the dojo tutorials. So occasionally in the dojo, you'll switch to a character that you want to play as, and you'll then learn, you know, their Gatling combos or other things like that. So it's useful, but it's just mixed in with all the other tutorials, as opposed to just being like, let me go to the lab for my character and watch my things. So yeah, there is that to it. However, outside of that, the game just looks fantastic, plays really well. I have spent most of my time, admittedly, playing online in private matches, so I can't really speak at the moment, because one of the big gripes beforehand, especially in the beta, was sort of the lobby system. It was a little bit, well, I say a little bit, it was very janky, right? That was the one big complaint about Guilty Gear Strive. The lobby system was hella janky. It's nice that we now have private lobbies, so at least if you want to play with friends, unlike in the beta, you just had to try and find them in online lobbies. Now you can actually just do that in a private lobby, which is fantastic, really good, definitely streamlines the system. And for the most part, because I've been playing friends locally, then I haven't necessarily had to worry too much. I had a couple of sort of laggy bits here and there, but largely speaking, it's all been pretty stable. But in terms of just sort of gameplay, I love this game. It might be slightly simpler than previous Guilty Gear games. Again, I'm not, you know, a hugely experienced fighting game player in that respect, so I'm not going to speak too much on the sort of technicalities and whatnot, but I will say, you know, I know a lot of people have been mentioning that some of the systems are simpler in this one, but it is still a ton of fun to jump into. Visually, like, they have nailed this one. This game looks incredible. All the characters, the stages, the sort of transitions, the way that they've done everything, all the moves look super cool. The characters are fantastic. I do, of course, hope they add more characters later on, because, you know, it's got a decent roster, but I do want there to be even more characters. But for the time being, it's, yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with this. I will say on the sort of single player side of things, you know, largely speaking, if you're playing fighting games, you're generally speaking playing them to play with friends. So a lot of it is going to be, you know, playing online, things like that. The single player side of things, a little bit bare bones. You've got an arcade mode. It's not a sort of traditional sort of story arcade mode. The game does have a story mode, which is more so you can just watch some animated cinematics to kind of tell you the story, which is really cool in its own light, but that's not woven into the arcade. The arcade mode is just fight 10 matches back to back. I got my butt kicked to begin with, so that was definitely my wake-up call when I was like, oh my gosh, the CPUs in arcade mode are already kicking my butt. I've got some work to do. But on the single player side of things, you of course have your training modes, you have your arcade mode, and you have your survival mode where you can just fight endlessly and, you know, kind of keep going as far as you can, and you then get a ranking based on that. But outside of that, you of course have your multiplayer modes. So for the most part, that's kind of it. If you like your fighting games, if that's sort of a genre for you, then definitely 100% it's worth checking out. I am really enjoying this one, and I do plan to do some more videos once I've had a chance to actually get a little bit better and start sort of you know, putting some matches together where I know a little bit more about my character's tech. So if you guys do want to see more from us here on the channel for Guilty Gear, definitely let us know in the comments down below. But for the time being, enjoy some matches. Been playing with some of the guys, so yeah, let me know in the comments down below which characters you guys like the best, and stay tuned for plenty more.
Slap. Mono no Kazu. Duel 2. Let's rock. Mega Pistol. Mega Pistol. Mega Pistol.
捉えたぜ。ごめんよ。これよ。うち。キリッとしな。こう。
メガピスト。メガピスト。
よいしょっと。
メガピスト。メガピスト。メガピスト。
捉えたぜ。やるね。
メガピスト。
やるね。やるね。無人キリッとしな。ほらよ。無人キリッとしな。捕らえたぜ。無人。
Slap. 作戦 Duel 1 Let's rock.
捕らえたぜ。おそ松。おい。捕らえたぜ。よいしょっと。ほらよ。おい。捕らえたぜ。よっ。キリッとし。何が出る。出てお願い。いるない。見る反応。正義。見る反応。ほらよっ。やる次は本気を出してやる。
Duel 2 Let's rock.
よっ。ほら捕らえたぜ。やるね。ほらよっ。無人。捕らえたぜ。無人。捕らえたぜ。無人。アギハ。無人。おい。捕らえたぜ。ごめんよ。捕らえたぜ。ほらよっ。おそ松。よいしょっと。無人。かかりも終えてないぜ。
Duel 3 Let's rock.
ダメだね。ほらやるね。ダメだね。おい。おさまる。 これにて落着。
If you want to catch more from us at HyperX Gaming, don't forget you can catch the guys TwoSixNine and Paradise Central streaming over on Twitch weekdays, playing a variety of games. If you guys want to jump in, tune in, watch, and even join in, then make sure you check them out. The links to those are in the description box down below, and of course you can join the Discord to get involved in all of the discussions.